Reece Conker will play a lot of football for Richmond in 2011, I think. Probably similar to, he'll go through the same process as Dustin Martin did last year, I think. I think he'll have a couple of breaks throughout the year. Seems to be getting a lot of football in the pre-season. When I say a lot, probably like expect him in the proper season to get 15 or 20 possessions a game, so keep that in mind. And he's definitely worth an option as a rookie midfielder who will go up in value. Josh Caddy taken number 7, I think, in last year's draft. Hard at it midfielder, can get plenty of the footy. Worth keeping an eye on for the Gold Coast. Dion Prestia, another young Gold Coast midfielder worth keeping a look at. I mean, you can't have too many Gold Coast players in your team, so you have to kind of select which ones you want to have. But definitely look at these guys' stats throughout the pre-season and decide on who's playing the best footy at the start of the year before you put your team in for round 1. And Daniel Harris, I've got him as kind of a lock in my team just because he's a senior player who's very cheaply priced, who's ready to play a full 22 rounds of football for Gold Coast. And working off Gary Ablett, I think he'll have a very good season. He had an excellent season in the VFL last year, so he is very much so. I would class him as a lock for at that price for anyone's midfield trying to build up some cash cows for the season. Sean Atley, I've got him in here. I wasn't expecting him to play early on in the season, but with injuries to Bastanak and a few other injuries around North Melbourne, I think Sean Atley will get a game early on in the season, and he can get the footy, and he is super quick, so his Dreamteam and Supercoach scores could go up around mid-year, which means you'll be able to sell him and make some upgrades to your team, so he could be a good cash cow, Sean Atley. Mitch Wallace for the Doggies. Keep an eye on him. I'm not sure if he's going to play a lot in 2011, but he does have a lot of ability, and if he can get into that team, he will find the footy, and his score will also go up, so keep an eye on him. Michael Hibberd. He's very handy as he's a two-positional cheap player. He can play both midfield and defence, which gives your team some flexibility. And at that price, and then looking at his NAB Cup form, I would say that he'll be playing a fair bit of footy for the Bombers in 2011. So definitely worth a selection, just purely even if it's on his two-positional status in 2011, which would let you switch in players like Goddard or Delidio, etc. to your midfield. Now, I've got Ian Callanan in here still, even though last weekend he tore his bicep on his arm. He's a dual position player, forward, midfield. Now, he's probably going to be out of most teams' calculations now. He is a rookie, so he would have had to be upgraded anyway. But he's definitely put on your watch list for mid-year, because I think after he returns from injury, I think he will go up into the seniors still. I think they really like him there. So if he can get into some form in the SANFL, gets back in the team in the mid-year, he could be a good option for to sell one of your cash cows and upgrade to a cheap, consistent player on your bench. Tommy Schneider for the Hawks has had some good games in the Hawthorn pre-season. He, like Ian Callanan, is a dual position player forward midfield, so he could be the straight swap that you need if you've got Ian Callanan in your team. But just keep an eye on the Hawks' final pre-season game next week and see whether he's in the team and see how he goes. But if he gets upgraded, then he could well be the fix to a lot of people's Ian Callanan woes. So just keep an eye on Tom Schneider. Jared Irons for Port Adelaide could be a rookie that's upgraded as well. He's been playing a lot in the Port Adelaide team in the pre-seasons. Has been getting very good scores, so keep an eye out on Jared Irons. And that is it. That's the end of the midfielders review for 2011. There are a few that I left out here and there, but there's also a few that are dual position players that'll show up in the forwards vidcast that will be produced next week. Now, just going to repeat the league codes again. There's still a few positions left in both leagues. So for Supercoach it's 538580, and for Dream Team it's 910357, and that's my team there, Carlos 316. So as I said, next week we'll be doing episode 3, and it'll go over forwards, and then after that we'll be doing episode 4, and that will be about the rucks, and also run through all of the dual position options for 2011 as well. Okay, I will see you guys then. Bye.